Welcome to the Common Man Football Show. My name is James Coburn, and today's episode we're talking about the Philadelphia Eagles versus Los Angeles Chargers Week 4 matchup based on analytics. Each week, I collect all of the current 2017 NFL team data in order to analyze and project potential NFL performance. We're only 3 weeks into the season, so it's not the biggest sample size ever. However, there will always be little nuggets of truth in every sample of data that you see, which could become bigger nuggets of truth as the season continues. So stick around as I analyze each week's matchups based on various NFL analytics. And if you are new to the channel, all terms and definitions will be in the description. So starting with this matchup between the Los Angeles Chargers and the Philadelphia Eagles. When you look at the NFL Stat Basic comparisons, and again, NFL Stat Basic comparisons is looking at how the offenses are performing, how the defenses are performing over a 3-week span, how special teams are performing, and then what their overall performances together are saying. And so far, the data overwhelmingly favors the Philadelphia Eagles in this particular matchup. When you look at just how the defense has been performing of the Eagles, they've pretty much been above average, whereas the Chargers have been below average when it comes to their total D score. The total D score is basically a score that looks at the ability to prevent first downs as a defense. So far, the Eagles have been better in terms of preventing first downs than the Eagles. Same thing goes with the offense. The Eagles' offense has been better in terms of creating first downs versus the Chargers' offense. When you look at the scores combined, the Eagles have a very sizable advantage. Turnovers, the Chargers have had way more turnovers per possession than the Eagles. When you look at sack percentage, the Eagles actually have had trouble with sacks this year. The Chargers have had less sacks. They've been one of the least sacked teams in the NFL compared to the Eagles. So there might be some advantages here for the Chargers in terms of the sack department in this game. Offensive score percentage is definitely in favor of the Eagles. The Eagles are just able to put points on the board in terms of their offensive possessions more often than the Chargers have been able to do. Defensive score percentage is also on the Eagles. Both these teams give up points, so neither of these teams have been really stingy in terms of preventing opponents from putting up points. So that isn't really, it shouldn't be surprising to see that. Defensive turnovers is on the Eagles side. Sack percentage is definitely the Chargers side. You know, guys like Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram are definitely fun to watch. Interceptions are on the Eagles side of things. Punt retardage is on the Eagles side of things. Kick return yardage is on the Eagles side of things, and defense of punt returns and kick returns is on the Eagles side of things. So when it comes to yardage through special teams, I think that'll heavily favor the Eagles in this matchup versus the Chargers. Now, when it comes to field goal percentage, both of these teams are actually not that great when it comes to field goal percentage, but the Eagles are better slightly, so they're kind of favored. Extra point percentage goes to the Chargers versus the Eagles. And the Eagles actually are a little bit below when it comes to extra point percentage. And then when you look at punting average, that's in the Chargers' favor. But again, overall, the Eagles are favored overwhelmingly because their offense has been able to put up more points. Their defense has been able to prevent more points. Their special teams overwhelmingly has advantages. And the only clear sort of metric matchups to really think about is the sack percentage, because the Eagles have not been very good in terms of preventing sacks, while the Chargers have been very good when it comes to creating sacks. So that's definitely a matchup to watch in this game from a macro standpoint. So when we get to the other sort of data points, I've actually decided to not focus too much on a couple of these, but this is the completion percentage comparison between the Chargers offense and the Eagles defense. The only thing I really want to say is the Chargers offense, when it comes to first down completion percentage and third down completion percentage, that's been their big issues, is in terms of getting completions in first and third down situations. So those are areas where I think the Chargers should improve. When you look at the Eagles offense versus the Chargers defense, the Eagles offense has had trouble in terms of first down completion percentage and second down completion percentage, and their only real area where they've actually been pretty decent is third down completion percentage. So the Eagles kind of have kind of have issues again with second down and first down and second down situations when it comes to completion percentage. So those are areas where I think that offense should improve when it comes to completion percentage. When you look at rushing data, though, the Los Angeles, the Chargers rushing offense versus the Eagles rushing defense, the Chargers will have advantages when it comes to first down situations, but the Eagles overwhelmingly have advantages when it comes to second down and third down. And I think that's going to be a pretty sizable advantage for them in those crucial sort of situations for the Eagles defense. And then when you look at the Eagles offense versus the Chargers defense, the Eagles have advantages in first down situations and second down situations. And it's a pretty evenly matched in second down situations, but third down situations is very favored. So when you look at just overall rushing data, you can kind of look at the rest of that, but it pretty much favors the Eagles offense when it comes to rushing. When we look at passing downs, so this is the Chargers offense versus the Eagles defense when it comes to passing downs. The Chargers offense is kind of evenly matched when it comes to first down situations. Have an overwhelming sort of success rate when it comes to second down versus the Eagles defense in second down situations. And then third down overwhelmingly favors the Eagles. So that's another key matchup to see is if the Chargers offense continues to not be very good when it comes to converting third downs against this Eagles defense, which has been good in terms of preventing third down conversions, that could be a big key in this game when you look at it from the outside. And when you look at the Eagles offense versus the Chargers defense when it comes to passing situations, the Eagles have advantages in first down situations, second down situations, and third down situations. So, despite again, they're kind of average when it comes to first and second down conversion rate, but they're better than what the Chargers have been performing. And it's also important to note that Jason Verrett is going to be out for this game. So I think that's going to be another thing to kind of add on to things, when it comes to their overall sort of ability. But over the last 3 weeks, the Eagles have been, decent. They need to improve first and second down situations, but third down situations is definitely good, and that's always a good sign when you're able to convert on third down. When you have to convert, when you have to make a conversion, they've been doing that over the last 3 weeks. So that's kind of something to kind of follow in this game as well. And we get to sack rate. So this is the Chargers offense versus the Eagles defense when it comes to sack rate. The Eagles will have advantages in second and third down. Most of the sacks the Chargers have been giving up is in second down situations and third down situations. So that's where you go hunting. And that's not good overall. So I would say that that's definitely the biggest matchup, is to see how the Eagles defense, which has been pretty above average when it comes to creating sacks on third down, how they do against a team in the Chargers offense who has been pretty much the worst team in the NFL when it comes to preventing sacks. And then, of course, when you look at the Eagles offense versus the Chargers defense, the Eagles have been giving up most of their sacks in second down situations and third down situations, whereas the Chargers are pretty good in terms of getting sacks in second down and third down situations. So that's a key matchup to watch in this game, is because the Chargers have a lot of really talented pass rushers, and this does seem like a big strength for them, especially when it comes to third down situations. And then, of course, looking at interception rate for the Chargers offense versus the Eagles defense, the Eagles will have advantages when it comes to third down situations. The big issue that Philip Rivers has had this year is in terms of turnovers on third down. I mean, as you can clearly see, very low, very high interception rate in terms of third down situations. So that's not good. If that continues, that's going to definitely be more so in the favor of the Eagles. And then, of course, when you look at the interception ratio of the Eagles offense versus Chargers defense, evenly matched in first down situations, evenly matched in second down situations, but third down situations is a little bit better. So the one criticism that I would have of Carson Wentz up to this point is that he needs to improve in terms of first and second down situations, because you can clearly see his completion percentage is not as good as it is on third down. His interception ratio is not as positive in first and second down situations compared to third down. So he's been having to depend on third down, and good, you're depending on third down, but great quarterbacks, they do well in all downs. They do well in first down situations, they do well in second down situations, they do well in third down situations. So when you look at this sort of issue, those are the downs that he needs to improve on, especially first down. I mean, that's the big thing. First down situations is where most of the interceptions are coming from. So I think that that's definitely sort of area to go. So how do I feel about this matchup? Well, I'm going with the Eagles here. I think overall, the data overwhelmingly favors them, but I do think there's a lot of the special teams favors the Eagles. The defense favors the Eagles. The Chargers are having injuries that they're having to deal with. And you have completely opposite quarterbacks. You have one quarterback that's turning the football over in crucial situations versus another quarterback in Carson Wentz who's not turning the football over in crucial situations. And it's because of that I just have to go Eagles here. So, of course, my name is James Coburn. You can find my work at draftcoburn.wordpress.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at Geometrics. And if you like this content and you want more content like this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Share this video as well if anybody that you know, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.